Hello there, my friends. My name's Carl Zipper. I run the Backwoods Engineering programs here at Mount Alamucci Scout Reservation in Byram, New Jersey. I'm standing today outside of our state-of-the-art Backwoods Engineering Center here at Mount Alamucci, where we use the latest in Six Sigma methodology to disrupt our industry. What I'd like to talk with you about today is, coiling rope, both for storage, but also when you want to coil it, to throw a length of rope, like say across a stream or up into a tree or whatever have you. It's important, when you have a lot of rope like I do, that you take a little time and think about how you want to store it. Because if you just store it in a big tangled mess, heaven help you when you actually need to use some of it. You're going to spend as much time getting the rope out as you are actually going to be doing any work. So it's important that you coil your rope and have an organized way to store it. It's good for your own mental health, when you need to untangle stuff, but it's also good for the rope. You don't want to just leave it in a pile on the ground or, inside a tub where water can condense on it and it can get all moldy and what have you. Most of the rope that I have is this stuff here. This is a 1/4 inch diameter rope. It's manila fiber, natural fiber rope. And I have, thousands of feet of it in here cut to various lengths, for doing various knots and lashings. Most of my rope is 15 foot, but I also have 20 footers. I have 30 footers. And, I've got dozens or hundreds of the various lengths. So when I need to pull out rope, when I need to put away rope, it's important that I have a good system to get it out and to put it back that won't take a lot of my time. So the way I coil my small ropes is, it's not really hardly coiling at all. What I do is I take each rope, I fold it in half so that it takes up a bit less space, and then I gather it up into groups of 5. So I've got 4 here, I've got 1 here. I get a group of 5 of them together, and then I take them and I just treat them like they're one big rope, and I tie a knot in them. And now I can take this, and I hang all my ropes in here to store them, so I can just throw it up over a bar. And there we go. I've got 5 ropes. Now, if I need to get out, 10 ropes or 20 ropes or 30 ropes, or 25 ropes or 15 ropes or any number that's a multiple of 5, I don't have to be able to count very high at all. All I got to do is I can just, instead of pulling them out one at a time, I can pull them out nice and quick. Now, one thing I do want to comment on is, I've seen a lot of people over the years, when they go to coil a rope, they take the rope and they wrap it around their elbow like this. And every time I see that, my heart breaks a little bit, because it's a really, really unfortunate way to coil a rope. What happens is, especially the more that you coil a rope like this, every time you coil it, it gets twist in it. And so when you take it out now, it's going to be a lot more twisted up and a big mess and harder to work with than if you coil the rope in a way where you don't twist it. So, the way I coil my 1/4 inch rope here, I don't have to worry about that. I'm not twisting it at all. The only twist I put in is when I make this big knot here. And as soon as I take that knot out, I'm taking the twist out with it. That said, I also have bigger ropes, in longer lengths, larger diameters, that don't lend themselves to being coiled this way. I've got a piece right here. It's a 1 inch rope. It's maybe 75 or 100 foot long. And this rope, I'm not going to be folding this in half and tying a knot in it. I'd have to hang it 35 foot up a tree, in order to not have it on the ground. So this rope, I need to coil it into many coils. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to twist it at all. So what I do is I grab one hand, I grab the end. The other end I just grab so the rope can slide through. I come out like this to a full length of my arms. I flip it over my neck, and now I can coil it like so. When I coil it, I like to keep all the coils about the same length. If one coil's a lot longer, or if you've got a couple that are a lot shorter than the rest of them, then the rope's gonna tangle more easily when you go to, uncoil it to use it. Another thing you might notice here is I'm coiling the rope. When I'm forming the coils, I'm doing it in a clockwise direction. Just about all the rope, all the twisted rope that you would buy nowadays is all twisted up and to the right. And if you coil the rope in the clockwise direction like this, that'll also help keep any twist from getting in. If you're dealing with a braided rope, that's not a concern that you need to have. So once you've got the rope coiled all the way, now you need a way to hang it, So what I do is I keep a number of short lengths of scrap rope with a loop tied into each end. And I can take this, I can pass it around the coil, I can pass one loop through the other. Now when I take it off my shoulders, I've got it right here. Now the question is, what do I do to hang this? The other thing I keep handy is I keep a couple tin cans full of, big metal spikes and, twigs of an appropriate size and stuff. So what I can do is I can take this, I can put it up over my, my bar that I hang my ropes on, hold it down, and now I can just sort of work this spike through the loop there, and now it'll hold it. And now when I want to take it down, all I have to do is pull the spike out, and it comes right down. So let me get this hung up, then we can move on to the next thing. This is how I like to deal with my bigger ropes. So now one more thing with coiling is sometimes it's useful to be able to throw a rope a long distance. This is true for the knot and lashing type projects I work on. Sometimes I might need to get a rope up over a tree, to help lift something, or sometimes if I'm building a bridge, I might need to get a rope across a creek or a gully, that I don't want to walk through. But it's also useful, for a lot of other tasks, outside of the knot and lashing work I do. If you're out camping and you need to put a bear bag up in a tree, you need to be able to throw that rope up there. If you're, down at the water and someone starts drowning, far out, you need to be able to throw them a rope so that they don't drown. If you're loading stuff on a truck, and tying down rope over the top, it's nice to be able to throw the rope over to the other side, not have it a tangled mess. So when you go to coil and throw the rope, I'm going to show you how I like to do that. There's a couple different ways you can approach this. If you only need to throw the rope a short distance, the easiest thing to do is throw it, or coil it up, and then throw the whole coil so that the coil gives the rope some weight, but the coil also has to be well enough made that it'll sort of not tangle as it's flying through the air. So the way I do that is just like before. I grab the rope, hold one end in my one hand, hold it solid, hold the other end so it can come through. And now I go out to my arm length, and I come in and I can just sort of grab the coil in that one fixed hand there. And by going out to the full arm length each time, I'm making sure all my coils are pretty much exactly the same size. The coils being the same size is what keeps them from getting tangled up as they're flying through the air, and what helps it uncoil a lot more gently. So now that I've got my coil, I've got my coil is in my throwing hand. I'm left-handed. The other end of the rope you need to make sure you hold on to. People forget, I might have even forgotten once or twice when I was younger and more foolish. And then you just, you swing it back and forth a couple times, you get your aim, and then you throw. And if it goes well, the rope should uncoil nicely. If it doesn't go well, pull it back in and try again. So, this rope was only 25 foot long. You can coil and throw the rope pretty well, up to about a 50-foot length this way. But if for whatever reason you have to really, wing a rope a whole lot further, or really high up in the air, the coil doesn't work well when you're trying to throw straight up, like into a tree. Sometimes it behooves you to have a weight on the end of your rope. So what you would do then is you would either coil your rope, or what I prefer to do is lay it out sort of back and forth on the ground like this, so it can unravel nicely. And then you need to attach some sort of weight to the end of your rope. A lot of people will use a big monkey's fist, with a baseball or a piece of lead shot or something in it. You know, I don't have one here, so I usually just put a shackle or something on the end. Just tie it on temporarily. You know, some sort of heavy chunk of something. And then what you would do now is, once you have the shackle tied on, you know, you grab that in one hand, again, you swing it back and forth a bit to find your range. And then you huck it out, you know, and it unravels pretty nicely. So that's how I like to coil my rope for storage. That's also how I like to coil my rope, you know, for throwing. And, you know, both are good things to know how to do the right way. So I hope you learned how to do that, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much. And, you know, both are good things to know how to do the right way. So I hope you learned how to do that, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
And I even missed your camera.
Didn't hit the camera, I appreciate that.
Don't think I wasn't tempted.
Like I said, if you're gonna hit any of them, that's the one.